Hi, everybody. See you in a minute. The push of spirit is occurring within the mind. At times, of course, the mind just gently steps aside, and other times there needs to be more coercion. There is a willingness, but there is resistance to let go. And gently the mind then stands to one side and lets the truth be revealed. So today we have three communicators. You'll hear, of course, my voice at beginning and end, but also two others. For those which are interested in the depth of philosophy, the journey towards realization, the understanding of truth beyond the creation. We have a communicator that will talk to the depth, I hope in a nice, rational and clear way. But we will also hear the practical application of this understanding in its simplicity. So you can understand the depth and with some work undertake the effort to realize the depth. After all, the words are one thing, but the understanding and experience are very different. The attempt is to appease those which are seeking knowledge, appease those which are following devotion, and appease those which are following action. In their process of evolution, spiritual evolution. But before we begin, I understand we have those which are on the healing list that we need to work with. May I have that now, please?
Yes. Okay. The names for today are Tom, Joanne, and Jean, Sonia, Marcella, Roz, Teresa Neal, Helen, Pia, Sonia, Bernie and Tess Parrott, Carl, Ben, Pippa, Peter and Chelsea, Julianne Davies, Maureen and Jerry, Margaret McPherson, Kelsey, Rick, Julie and Cleve, Mike, Angie, Ben and Jason, Rosa, Melada, Peter and Chelsea, Charlotte Burridge, Helen, Carl, Ben, Pippa again, Tess Flynn, Adelaide, Roz, Goody Good Child, Nazrin, Thomas, Veronica and Son, Keiko, Dave, Holly, Margaret and Michelle Caputo, Stephanos and Andreas, Susan, Angelina, Irene, George, Dimitri, Mira, Neil and Raylene Parsons, Josh French, Tracy and Will, Amanda DeJersey, Lisa Wiggins, our friend Jane, and a special health and healing to Angelina's grandchildren. They are newly born twin boys. So we wish these new souls who have decided to join all of us here on Earth a safe journey and to enjoy this ride. Thank you.
And also to remind you that if you have some people or friends which would like to come for the healing session in person, to work with many healers, then please contact the medium for details. So now is my time to withdraw and to leave you in the hands of another. Until later. It is not so often that I get to talk now. But that is the way it is. Many times in your world, you refer to God as a he or a she. Is God male or female? And of course, it may be referred to in either way because neither is true. It appears more in Western culture as he and Eastern culture as she. But the truth is, it is an indication of how much you resolve to meet God in life. There are many other names, of course. Sometimes you may call God the beloved, maybe as simple as friend. And when you are in certain states of understanding and realization, other names again. It is of little consequence because it is just words. In the ways of the yogis and the masters, they too have different names also. And I dedicate the remaining part of this talk to all those who are seeking their true self. Now, in Christian culture, they say, God is the Father. In Vedanta and the Bhagavad Gita, they say God is Paraatma. the yogis may say is Sat, or true being, also translated as truth. There is also the words of Parapurusha. And of course, there may be 1,000 different names. Now, I wish to bring together many different talks, all to this one fine point. So if you have followed other conversations at times, they will all connect here with what is to be said over the next few minutes. There is truth, and then there is the expression of truth. There is potential and the living of the potential. There is beingness and being. The potential to come into creation and the actual birth into creation. For those of you following certain meditation processes, those which you say at times, I go into nothing, but everything, but nothing, and not empty, but full, but nothing. Times where you close your eyes and open and 1 hour is gone and you do not know. It has been but one single breath and 1 hour has passed by. No great master, no great saint has ever attained liberation from the body, but going beyond the body. Has never attained liberation by being in the mind, but by going beyond the mind. The great masters, the saints, the yogis, all journey beyond the mind into spirit, a spirit form, into truth that cannot be understood. You cannot teach or train or tell somebody this is what this is like. It never has the right words. And the sayings of many yogis, those who know they know. There is much truth there. They do not need to tell the world they know. They just know. They know the truth. this period of time of utter nothingness. From there, the first state they leave, the first state of being beyond the projection of life. And the first word is then heard. Om. This word is often called the two dots of duality. The word and then an empty space while the word is forming. From the two dots of duality, the threefold path is laid bare in front of all. The way of devotion, the way of action, the way of knowledge. And the creation is projected forward. And nature is born. And the illusion of creation then is followed by So let us return the journey and connect this talk now to others. You follow the three paths, also represented by the three guna, to realize the duality within the mind, and you enter the dark cave of the mind to see the light in the distance. And you follow that light, which is blue with a white center. You go through the light into no light, into dark. To then embody the light yourself. If you are following the path of Kriya Yoga and other meditation, remember the path I have just said. You sit, you hear the words, and you see the light, but you go beyond that into darkness. The word mother, the word father, of course, are just symbolic natures of a way mankind can understand and describe nothing. If you listen to the talks done, we talk about the three paths becoming one path, becoming no path. That is the way of the yogi. That is also the way of you all, whether you think you are yogi or master or what. You see the words of Jesus, he said, the Father and I are one. These are the states of meditation that are achieved, the realization of the truth. It is not egotistical to say you are God, because that is the truth. It is just illusionary to think you are not God. But what does all this mean to your life? What does it mean? How can this help me pay my bills? How can it help me deal with some difficult people? How can it solve my problem? I leave that talk to another in a minute. This is the true path. This is the true understanding of what spirit is. There are many that want to learn spiritualism and spirituality. There are many saying, I understand this. I know what spirit is. Those who say do not know. Those who know do not say. It has been said to you before, always look at the fruit and not at the tree. And then you will see the ones that you should be with. If you hear of any person say to you, I know the truth, you can be assured they do not. Buddha said, if you see a Buddha while walking on the road, you should kill him. This is realization of somebody projecting to be a Buddha and they are not. To move past that understanding. Look for love and kindness. You then will have found one who knows, but does not say. May peace be within you. Well, I ain't really sure who's got the hardest job in the end, you know. Is it him who's got to understand it, or me that's got to translate it, make it kind of a bit humanistic, a bit real, get it into real life? I think it's me who's got the hardest bit, I reckon. But anyway, I'm going to have a go. Good morning to you all. Welcome. Charlie's a name. And I'm going to say, well, how is all this? It all sounds wonderful, doesn't it? all sounds wonderful. I'm going to meet me mother and me father and the one who knows the truth and all that. But the point is how's that affect me life? How's that affect your life? And how's that translate into really the life of spirit on my side? The understanding bit. Well, I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, look, there's a bit of truth that you really should understand, that consciousness, the ability to watch anything, awareness. Look, you're aware now, even if you don't think you are, you're watching and you're listening. And I can see some of you are actually thinking, and a couple of you are writing down in chat. Well, the fact that you're aware is the fact that you are connected through to the God essence. The expression of God is the ability to watch. That's an expression of who the big bloke is, you know. When I say bloke, he's a mother and all. Who he is he watches everything. And this is why Jesus said, not a leaf falls from a tree without him knowing, because he's an observer. He is a watcher. He is a consciousness. You see, the secret to all this evolution, be it spiritual evolution, is the fact of awareness, is the fact of just watching what goes on, watching what happens, watching the way the world turns, watching how my life unfolds, watch how grumpy I am in the morning. So you could say that if I'm grumpy in the morning and I'm all lovey-dovey of an evening, then what's the truth? Which one am I? And you say, well, I'm both, aren't I? Well, the truth is you're not both. You're actually the watcher of both. Now, look, there's a little secret again, exercise for you to try. If you just watch anything for long enough and you can keep your attention on, let's say, a flower or even a match or an ant or something like that, if you can watch it for long enough and hold your attention on it without being disturbed by other thoughts, then you will realize the truth. You merge together. You and the candle flame, or the word, or the ant, or the flower seem to be one, seem to be connected. You can do this yourself. It takes a bit of practice to get your attention up, but once you got your attention, you can hold your attention on the flower long enough, you don't see a flower anymore. You think all this is spooky spiritual experience. It's not, it's the truth. It's the truth. And you essentially, the flower is just an expression of consciousness, an expression of love. That's why you can get tears in your eyes at these times. Make you so happy you cry. It's such beauty that it's just not containable within the body. Don't worry about the fancy names and words. You'll use them as you get deeper. They don't really matter at all. Not really. It's more about the understanding of the experience rather than trying to describe it. You can't really describe all that stuff too well. Anyway, I've found I use it as my loveliness. My inner loveliness comes to the surface. And that makes it a bit more practical than some of the other words, even though they may be right. The inner loveliness seems to sum it up better for me, because it's all got to be said in plain English as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, if you can watch sufficiently anything, not only will you merge together and feel it, you'll see what's beyond it. You see the truth that sits underneath it all. You see the spirit, not the body. And if you ain't careful, if you look at some bodies long enough, you say, oh, they're not. They ain't too pretty, are they? They've got a few lumps and bumps and things. If you let go of that judgment, you'll discover that you love what's underneath the body and not the body. You love your husband, your wife, your dog, your cat, whatever. Not because they're a dog and a cat and a husband and a wife, but because the love underneath it. You say, all of you say, I would like more love in my life, more peace, more understanding. And is there anybody that's going to say, nah, don't want any of that stuff? Happy with a good dose of drama, me. I like it difficult. More difficult, the better. No, there ain't. You know, even the people who think that are really chasing the love underneath, ain't they? All you got to do is hold your attention, hold your awareness. Not only are you then being God, you discover first the qualities of him. You see the love, the light, the truth comes, the understanding comes. When you practice mediumship in all its different types, you're changing your perception, aren't you? You're changing the perception from the outside to the inside. And if you're just beginning this stuff, you know that if you can just be quiet, the information's there. And you can bring all this right into practicality. You know, people say it's all so hard and it's all so difficult, and I don't seem to be able to meditate. I've given it up. I tried it once. And yet they're still chasing what they want, where they think meditation's a dead end for them. Bringing yourself back to awareness. Stop the mind for a bit. I know he's given before, and others have as well. We've said, hold your mind still for 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, no thoughts. Be still. Let your mind be still. Don't have to count. You just be still for 10 seconds. Well, if you can get that up a little bit longer in time, well, a good chunk longer than 10 seconds, one of two things will happen. Three things, actually. You'll either see a light, you'll have a feeling of unconditional love, or you'll slip into the darkness beyond both of them. That's it. That's all. All knowledge will come at that stage, but go past it. Fancy pictures will come, but go past it. They're all still within the mind. Let go, just keep the mind still. Light, love, or darkness. Did we not say a threefold path becomes one? You see, if you want to end all your suffering, all your misery, then you just become aware of the misery. You don't follow it. You see, as I've always said, it ain't what goes on, it's the watching that's important. Become the watcher of it all. Watch life. Watch life. Watch yourself. You know, some people, right, now, it's not very common actually, but some people, they look And they look at their life, and after a while, they begin to see that sometimes, let us say, they want things in certain ways. They say, I like things to be in this order, and at this particular time, in this particular place, and it must be in this shape and this colour. You see, that's putting expectations on life. You can move through these obstacles by just holding your attention. And recognizing the times when you have expectations and desires, times when you're angry. What is anger other than a desire that is frustrated? If you can see this, you'll move beyond the world, you'll come into spirit, and you'll just watch the world go by. That's the evolution. And that's why it's available right here, right now, right this very minute to everybody. And you could say it in all sorts of fancy words, and you can say it in ways that people could get very impressed because you know the same word in 3 different languages or something. Or you could say it in ways which are all foggy. Oh, you've got to know what you're talking about because I can't understand the words you're saying. Well, I've always found that I don't need to understand the words, which is a damn good job, I tell you, but vocabulary ain't too strong. But anyway, it's a point that you just bring yourself into watching it. When you look at your husband, your wife, or let's say your dog, in some cases, it's probably more appealing. But anyway, when you look at these and you look into their eyes, then you go beyond it and you realize you do not love them. What are you talking about? You do not love them. Truth is, you've discovered the love that's underneath them. You've discovered the spirit that's beyond them. You've discovered the spirit that's in them, which is within you. When you love another person, you are honoring the love within yourself. When you discover the light in another person, you are honoring the light that is within you. That is still the 2 dots of duality, because then you realize it is the same love. That's what the word namaste means, isn't it? And if it's natural, if it's totally natural to love another person because the love in one's the love in another, when you don't love another person, or you haven't woken up to it, or you don't like another situation, I don't like the fact that it's in green and I wanted it in blue. See, that's just your voice of your ego. The belief that things should be different. Bring yourself back to the reality. The ego wants difference, wants change, and then hates change. but the spirit just watches. The soul accepts. And if you can just watch, can you see how still your life becomes? Can you see then how much peace there can come? Everybody's in a rush to get peace. Anyway, is God father or mother? The answer is yes. He's both and he's none. I am, after all, everything. God bless you. Ta-ra. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning there was light. And he said, let there be light. The light here is the projection of the movie of creation into consciousness. Such is the symbology within many different cultures. The symbology of many deities. The symbology beyond the deity. The symbology of nirvana. And its opposite in Maya. The symbology of birth and death. Because neither is real. So there is no death because there is no birth. Whatever you see to be born will surely die. Whatever is beyond these is the truth. If you see yourself as a body, then you will fear death. If you see yourself as mind, the best you can hope for is that you will go on. But if you see yourself as spirit, and you find your spirit within pure awareness, you always was, and you always will be. This is the form that is beyond change. Experiences no birth and no death. Just watches the bubble of life. So today's talk connects other talks to give you some consistency in both the belief, the direction, and also life beyond the bodily shape. You must follow your direction as you will. You must follow your truth as you dare. Whether you believe you are spirit or not, whether you can come to that realization or not, does not affect the spirit in one way or another. The understanding is but the game, the play. Experience life. Hold nothing back. Save nothing for best. Choose to be fully part of life. And die with no regrets, to realize the love in your heart and to move past the body into unconditional love. Let your action in time, let it be seen as devotion, and then in realization. Live. The unexamined life is not worth living. In other words, the desire to live must be accompanied with the awareness of it. Awareness is your door. Put no barrier in front of it. Until next week. God bless you.